Hiya, welcome to episode number 2 of Pickler the Podcast, where we will talk stories, tips, happenings, and everything else from the pickleball court. We are brought to you by Pickler over at www.thepickler.com, where we help you play better pickleball. I'm the founder of Pickler and your host, Stacie Townsend, along with my co-host and my favorite mixed doubles partner, John, the People's Champ, Davison. Hey, John.
Hey, Stace, just want to, correct you. I'm the only mixed doubles partner because Brandon doesn't count. So,
Understood. Funny story, actually, I am playing in a tournament with Brandon tomorrow, so maybe I should have an asterisk. He's can be my favorite partner tomorrow.
I'm honestly upset you've rejected me for every tournament coming up, but you play with Brandon. What is up with that?
I know, just this once.
It's got to
So,
be me.
so John, today we have our very first guest on Pickler the Podcast, and earlier this week I put out a social post as a little bit of a clue, a little bit of a tease. Did you happen to see the clue?
No, I didn't.
Well, you already know who they are, so I figured you were going to say that anyway. But the clue, I'll just tell you right now, it was they, which I think that's a clue in itself because not only do we have one guest, but we have two. And the clue was that these two are some of the best shake and bakers in the business. So if anybody of you out there listening follow the Pickler newsletter, you already know these people, already love them. And since coming into the sport in 2017, I'm pretty sure they've changed the game and made it much faster for all of us. And they are your reigning pro women's doubles national champions, mother-daughter duo. That's right, everybody. Team Waters is with us. Welcome, Leigh and Annalie Waters.
Thanks for having us.
What up, Team Waters? How's it going?
We're doing good. We're preparing for nationals right now, so
That isn't like a week, right? Is it next weekend?
it's next
Okay.
weekend, but we leave on Monday.
All right. Well, are you guys you guys are defending, right? So are you guys gonna go back to back?
We are going back to back. Well, actually, we are champions of 2019 and 2020 because they didn't have one. So
that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Nobody else has ever done that before.
We're going for a three-peat, John.
Champ. There we go. Triple C.
We're excited. We're excited to become 3-time national champions.
Well, I mean, you can't stop there, right? You got to win. You at least one of you has to win mixed, right? And then
Yes, we do.
AL, you're gonna get singles too. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, she doesn't have a national singles title, so that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Well,
So
I believe in you.
I guess we should back up to 2019. Do you guys, obviously we were talking about your defending national champions, so you won. Were in a much different position, I think, in 2019. Probably underdog, a great story, but you weren't on the top of the podium as much as you are today. So kind of talk us through that and maybe how your mindset has changed going into 2021 nationals.
Well, I have a funny story about 2019 nationals. So before that tournament, we had done really well in 2019, obviously, but at nationals, for some reason, I was just kind of like really excited to play, but I wasn't like expecting too much. So I'm just going through nationals like it's a regular tournament, and then I wake up on women's doubles day, and mom, I literally wake up, I look at her, she goes, "We are not losing today. Do you hear me?" I was like, okay, this has never happened before. Time to be serious. But it ended up working, and we ended up winning. So I don't think anyone's ever heard that before, but it was just really funny.
Well, I just knew we were like playing really well that year, and we had a lot of momentum going into that tournament. And I knew we had an opportunity to win. And so it was like Annalie was only 12 at the time. So I needed to get her like zeroed in and focused. And so that's why I was like, Annalie, we are not losing. We're not losing.
It's not enough.
She was like, oh, okay. It worked. I guess I need to do that maybe every tournament.
Maybe, but then it will lose
No.
back.
So, now I think you need to say that to me.
Waking you up, Mom, we are not losing today.
It's funny how your roles have kind of changed maybe a little bit, Annalie, as you've gotten older, right? You started as a pro when you were 12, which is insane in itself. You're only 14 now, but you've really kind of owned the professional pickleball player role, right? How has your mindset changed in the last 2 years?
Well, when I first started playing pickleball, it was just kind of like, well, pro at least. Like, I'm just going to go out there, show them what I can do, hopefully win a couple matches. And now it's more like, I know that I can win more than a couple matches, and I know that I can compete. So it's now, I think it's more like, I just need to focus on my game and play my game and do my thing out there, and everything will work out after that.
Yeah. I think now like more the reality is it's real, and she knows now that she has an opportunity to win any tournament and really any division right now. So I think she puts a lot of pressure on herself, more so than she did when she was 12 in 2019. And so I think she's right. Like, I think the focus more is now keeping herself in check.
Yeah, and then definitely comes to the territory of being, kind of expected to win, right?
Mhm.
So, you just have that added pressure, right?
Definitely. There's way more pressure now than I had when I was 12, but at the same time, I have to keep telling myself, or even mom keeps telling myself, like, you're 14, you still should have no pressure when you're out on the court. So that's something that in 2021 I'm going to try to really focus on.
Yeah, and I think that's something that, like, especially with your age too, you could just tell you have zero fear out there, right? Like, you go for your shots, it's all or nothing. And mom too, you guys are just no fear out there at all.
I think when you let fear creep in is when you start
Getting dinky and
making
dinky
errors. And
not good.
so
Yeah.
I think for us, playing aggressive kind of helps us stay true to ourselves and keep that fear sort of in the background. The minute that we get, like Annalise said, the minute we get a little bit dinky is the minute that's when we're going to probably start losing.
Yeah, I think I remember playing both of you, like maybe several months ago, right at Brandon's place, and I like got in a couple dink rallies with you guys, and then I actually like won one or two, and I'm like, oh wow, this isn't bad. The next thing I know, you guys are just ripping down my throat, and I'm like, oh, and I played terrible. I think I played against AL twice. I had to play you twice, and I think Stacie and I scored like 3 points.
That's right. I think we were shake to bake to death.
We were shook and baked. Yep, or shaked and baked.
So, John, I saw did Nationals post today on social media. I don't know if you happen to see it, but it was the clip of Leigh and Annalise winning point at Nationals. And
Yes.
what cracked me up, like, so first of all, Nationals is the best venue. It was jam packed with pickleball fans. It was a great environment. Uh, they're on their last point. Leigh and Annalise hit down the middle, which is a great strategy if you're nervous or trying to go for the last point. They executed it perfectly, clean winner down the middle, and all of a sudden you see Leigh throw up her hands and just start running. She was like just running around the court, and Annalise running behind her trying to catch up to her.
Like,
I
where
don't
are
know.
you going, mom?
This is what she was saying. Where are you going? We have to paddle tap. That's what but it was
That's
just a
hilarious.
real moment, honestly, I don't know what I was doing. I think I was just like,
You were madman out there.
I think I was just so shocked and surprised and excited that I took a little tour around.
It was so cute, and I saw a quote you had, Leigh, in an article that was just published, where you literally said that moment was one of the best in your life, winning with your daughter,
Yeah,
uh, which I thought was pretty awesome.
and it was because I played tennis my whole life and been on some pretty big tennis stages and played collegiate tennis, and so I've won things by myself, but nothing seriously has been cooler than winning nationals and then our most recent PPA championship that we won. I mean, those two moments were very emotional, and I mean, seriously, memories that I will never forget and nobody can ever take away from me. It's really cool.
It's just awesome to win as a family too, which I think has really captured just the pickleball nation, right? Is, it just connects, I feel like, a lot of people that play with their families.
Mhm.
And then you see like a mother-daughter team just dominating. I think it's like I'm surprised you guys aren't on Ryan Seacrest. I don't know what they're doing with Ben Johns on there, but like, why aren't you guys on Good Morning America? We have to figure that out.
I know, right? Can you get us on there, John?
Yeah. You know somebody?
You know, I am the people's champ, so I could probably get it done.
We'll just do that.
I'm not sure who I have to email, but we'll figure it out.
Okay.
And Annalie, would you say the same thing? Was that the highlight of your life so far?
Yes, probably. But I'm kind of upset that Mom didn't say when I was born the highlight of her life. But I guess winning a national title works too.
I was
That was
actually
a
thinking the
close
same
second.
thing. Yeah.
I'm chopped liver, but I helped you win the tournament, didn't I? That's
You're
all
there
I
for.
was born for, Stacie, was winning that 2019 title.
I'm sure you
I
have a
can
lot
leave
more.
now.
Well, we're going for the 3-peat, you said, so maybe that will top the 2019.
I mean, she potentially has so many great moments ahead of her in pickleball. So, I mean, if pickleball keeps growing and she keeps improving, you know, our time together could potentially be like one of the, I don't know, it could be like a small moment in her pickleball career. But for me, it's, you know, my pickleball career is going to be much shorter. And so it's a huge moment in my pickleball career, and it's definitely going to be the greatest. So.
Annalie, you wrote an article for the Pickler newsletter. It went out last week, and you wrote about your good days and bad days with pickleball. So nationals seems like it's one of the top. Do you want to share maybe one that was not so good?
Well, I can actually, one that was recent I can think of was in Vegas. The Vegas tournament overall was very good, but the final day was not my best overall. And it was kind of weird because the day started off and outside was super gloomy and dark, and it kind of like didn't feel like a pickleball tournament because usually pickleball tournaments it's sunny out, and in Vegas it was like the total opposite. So I think like that started off my day not very well, and then I kind of went onto the court like sleeping, like literally sleeping on the court. I wasn't moving very well and just kind of was not myself out on the court, and I would consider that like maybe a bad day for me in pickleball, but the next day was fine.
She's
I
pretty
got
good.
over
She
it,
is
yeah.
absolutely, you don't want to be around her when she first loses the match.
No, I start speaking nonsense.
She
That's all
talks
nonsense.
craziness. She doesn't want, she wants to get as far away from people as she can. You can just see the steam coming out of her ears.
I get very angry. I don't get sad. It's just angry.
Yeah,
when I
angry,
get off the court.
angry.
Yeah.
And like she said, she just talks nonsense, you know, just crazy stuff comes out of her mouth. But then, like, by that night and the next day, like, she's back to being a 14-year-old kid again, and everything's great. Let's go get ice cream. And so, I mean, I guess that's a good thing, you know, she's kind of figured out a way to release those negative emotions and flip back pretty quickly. So,
Yeah, fortunately, you don't have too many of those days, Annalie. And for most of us regular folks, not at your elite level, any day on the pickleball court is just a good day. So there's
Well,
always that, right?
Yeah, well, another point, we were in Texas right before the women started, and I was in a very bad mood, and we were warming up, and I don't even know what I was doing, and Mom was like, Annalie, you are going to fix that right now, and we're going to go out there, and we're going to do good. She was like, get out of this mood right now. And I was like, okay. So that bad day went from a bad day to a good day, like that.
A little mom moment for you there, Leigh.
every once in a while it creeps out, like on our home courts when she puts aces into the fence on serves. Like, sometimes say, what do I say? Stacie knows what I say.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, are you gonna push me?
Are you going to use the fence, or are you going to play point?
Yeah, I've been there for a few mother-daughter nitpicks, I guess we'll call
Yeah.
them, but it
They
always
have,
ends
they,
in
ha- yeah, they happen way more in practice than they ever do in real competition.
Yeah.
So that's the good thing.
and you guys are always pushing each other to be better, so that's always fun to watch too.
Yeah. True.
So Annalie, 14, going on 15, what was the moment you decided to go pro? Like, I mean, the fact that you're a pro pickleball player at 14, it's hard to
Yeah.
wrap your mind around.
Well, as you know, I played with you for a year and maybe a quarter. Is that how long it was?
Yeah, about a year and a half.
So a year and a half, me and Stacie were working our way up in the levels, and then one tournament, Mom's partner couldn't play, so I filled in for her, and it was my first pro tournament ever, and it was just kind of like a trial run to see if I could hang or not, and we ended up getting second, which was really cool, and I think at that moment was when not just me, but like the family kind of decided that I could play pro and actually compete and play with my mom. Don't you think that was the point?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because we went into that tournament thinking like we were going to get killed, and then we ended up playing Lucy Kovalova and Sarah Ansberry in the finals, and we won a game, didn't we? Went to 3.
We did win a game.
Yeah, and we were like totally shocked and very excited, and I think that's when we realized that Annalie was ready to compete. Yeah.
Yeah. And at that point, AL was like, bye, Stace.
It's not true. We played one more tournament after.
That is nationals.
That's right.
National and US Open.
Oh,
pretty
I think it was the US Open.
US Open.
Yeah. So on my journey, John, I don't know if you know the story. Annalie and I played our very first tournament together, 3-0. We won. Then Leigh kind of comes over. Oh, good job, ladies. Oh, let's play another one, but 3-5. And I'm like, every time, I'm not sure if I'm good enough. And so I would go run away and like just practice. I have to play with Annalie. I got to do well. 3-5, we would win. Then Leigh would come up. Oh, good job. 4-0 next tournament. And I'm like, Leigh, I don't think I can play 4-0. Go away. Practice. Because I'm playing with Annalie. I can't let her down, right? And then we win that one. And Leigh's like, 4-5. The next, it happens again. And I was like, all right, I'm done. Annalie's like, this is the best I can do. Leigh comes back. How about 5-0 US Open? I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to really go practice now. Like practice. We ended up winning. But it was just like, the only reason I think I got to this level is because every time we turned around, Leigh was pushing me to go further. So Leigh also mommed me throughout my pickleball career.
I knew you could do it. I knew you could do it. It was awesome because you guys had each other. It was the perfect partnership for both of you, kind of learning the game and improving, and you had each other to do that with, and great.
Yeah. And I was good. John called me out on the last podcast for how type A I am with my script, but I was the same way, obviously, on the court. I just told you I was so nervous to play. And Annalie, on the other hand, we would get on the court, and I remember one time, like it's a championship game of some tournament, I'm all nervous, and you're like, Stacie, that referee has pickles on his socks. Like that was your advice going into the game, or like comment. And it was just so fun to play with you because that's how it was. Like whether we were losing or winning, you were so much fun to play with.
Wait, how about this one, Stacie? Stacie, look at the puppy.
Yeah.
In the middle of the match.
Yes. Constant. But that's what makes it like loose and fun, and that's how the way pickleball should be played, and that's when you play your best. So it's nice to have partners like that.
Yeah, and especially like you and AL are both like very energetic. I feel like you both play well when you're like pumped up. Like whenever Stacie and I play together, we're doing bad. I'm like, Stacie, we just need to just get intense. Next point, the next point we win, we are celebrating as loud as we can. And it doesn't matter like what it is. It could be like a net cord winner. We're like, yeah, Stacie. Yes! Like, and then we always turn it around whenever we get that way. And I feel like you and AL definitely had that because I know you two right now, you guys, it's fun to watch. Like whenever we're watching at home and you guys might be in like a little bit of a rut or there was like a tough call. I'm sitting with Olivia at home watching, and Olivia goes, we're about to get a big come on from AL. And the next point, like you win it. And you just see, come on.
Do I sound like that? Sometimes my voice cracks too, and I'm like, crowd, you did not hear that.
Yeah,
it's all right, it happens.
Annalie definitely feeds off of energy, and like sometimes a bad call or somebody saying something that makes her mad is a good thing because it kicks her into like the next gear and gives her sort of that energy that she needs. Yeah. Yeah, she'll say that to me sometimes, like, she did not just do that, or she did not just say that. And I'll be like, use it, Annalie, use it.
She just egging me on the whole time.
Because I know that like when she gets in that mode, she is hard to beat. Hard to beat.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, especially when you know that about yourself, right? If you know that like you have to be intense, because I feel I'm the same way too. You
Hmm.
know, like, and it could be something that triggers it, right? Like a bad call, you're like, oh heck no, and then you're just like, you are seeing, it's just red mist, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And
That's
like,
exactly
I'm
it.
someone that needs that. That's not for everybody, but I'm definitely someone that like needs that for sure. If not, I'm gonna like not use my legs at all,
Right.
put dinks in the net. Like, what is going on?
You like fall asleep when you don't have that energy.
Yeah, exactly. Especially for me. I think Stacie too. Stacie, you sometimes when we're just like coming out, we're like sleeping. We don't play well.
No,
Yeah.
I know that about myself. I need to get super intense to play at my best, but then I always feel awkward because a lot of big come-ons or yeah, Johns kind of come out of my mouth, which is intense if you're like, you have just your mom as your fan there watching. But
Yep.
unlike Leigh and Annalie, you have like some background noise.
Yeah, and the score is like 2-1.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. Exactly.
But you have to do it. You have to do it from point one.
I don't mind a loud come on in rec play either. Leigh and Annalie know any let cord in rec play, I am giving a big oh
First
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Or some yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or some oh yeah, baby.
Oh yeah, baby.
So what keeps you guys motivated? I mean, you won nationals, you've won PPA, you're knocking on the door, especially Annalie for being number 1 ranked in singles, doubles, everything. How do you stay motivated to get better?
Well, I think that's one thing, knowing that we're right there and we're so close to like really catching it. I mean, we're on top right now, but there's that next level of, winning more PPAs
Yeah,
or
being more consistent
national.
with our
Yeah.
winning.
And I think that's one thing that keeps us motivated is that. And another thing is we've been playing like a lot of the same teams for a long time, and you don't just want to start losing to the teams that you've been beating for years, or even the teams that you've been losing to every now and then. You don't want to keep losing to those teams. So I think those two things have really helped keep me at least motivated.
I think she keeps me motivated because I'm 42 and nearing the end of my pro pickleball career, I'm sure. Um, but yeah, I want to be able to keep her like we want to play at least another year together, and I don't obviously want to bring her down. She has so much potential, and she has like triple crown potential this next year. And so for me, like I want to be at my best so that I can keep her at her best. And, once I'm done playing with her, then I'll just be in the crowd or on the court coaching. So I know that I have, a little time left, so I'm going to try to be my best.
Definitely.
So why does Annalie have great triple crown potential next year?
So she did amazing this year in singles. She won, gosh, a lot of singles titles, more singles titles than she did in.
Every single one that I played except for
Yeah.
which is
That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. And she is playing with Ben Johnson next year in mixed doubles for the vast majority of, I would say 80% of all of her tournaments next year. So when you play with Ben Johns, you always have the potential of coming away with the gold. I think everybody knows that by now. So that's very exciting. And then, we're always in runners in the draw to come out, I think for us, it's if we're focused and we play with confidence, we are hard to beat. The minute we start kind of like we talked about earlier, getting a little cautious and losing that confidence, that's kind of when we tend to lose. So I think the idea is we have nothing to lose. So let's just go out and play true to ourselves and get Annalie that triple crown.
Yeah, definitely. It might come up again later on, but I'm excited to see you and Ben play because a little part of me wants you to tell Ben to step aside and just let you take over. I'd love to see Ben play on the right side and just let you do your thing.
Maybe a couple
Um,
points.
Yeah.
That would be
That would be cool. That would be cool.
I'm not sure how he'll feel about that, but it seems to work for you in mixed. So,
There we go.
I know.
yeah, if
I
you,
love the way she plays in mixed doubles. It's awesome. So fun to
yeah,
watch.
the way you play with Kyle, right? I think
Mhm.
is you guys play really well together. Um, and then Leigh, you play well with Kyle as well. I mean, both of you guys do.
Yeah, I think we're just so relaxed with Kyle because he's a personal
And we've
friend.
known Kyle.
I mean, gosh,
Yeah.
He
he
kind of taught us to play a little bit.
yeah, I mean, he kind of helped us break into the pros a little bit, and so in mixed doubles, like you guys playing together, you're so comfortable, having fun, and that's really important in mixed doubles. Almost more important than gender doubles, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think the male female like power dynamic, I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes can be a little interesting,
Yep.
and you definitely see it on any given tournament weekend.
Yeah.
You definitely see some bad chemistry.
Yeah. I know, and that's a killer, man. When you have bad chemistry, whoa, that's a recipe for disaster right there.
Playing the match. It's almost like distracting for the other team because we're like having a conversation.
Oh yeah,
And
like
then-
when I play her against her and JW Johnson in practice, like joking and laughing, and I'm so irritated on the other side. Like, are we laughing or are we playing? Like, what are we doing? Because I cannot focus when you guys are laughing in between points. It's like they're laughing at me. Like, see, they're so bad. We don't even have to try. We could just.
Wait, hold on. I have to stop you right there. You said JW was joking and laughing? I don't believe you.
It's only with me.
It's true.
Yeah.
I don't believe
I mean-
I haven't seen it.
You'll have to come.
You have to come to one of our practice sessions.
You have to come. JW's hilarious.
He's so funny.
He's so witty. The stuff that comes out of his mouth is hysterical.
Yeah. Most of it is making fun of all of us too.
Yes.
Oh.
So, John, what do you think would now be a good time to jump into our 20 quick fire questions?
I think so.
All right. Before I
Uh-oh.
do, though, I
Threatening.
have to give a quick shout out to our sponsor for the podcast, which is Superior Lab. Superior Lab supplements are designed to help you power up and recover faster so you can get out there and play more pickleball. Thank you, Superior Lab. Check them out at superiorlabs.com. All right. 20 quick fire questions for Leigh and Annalie. Some are for both of you, some are for one of you, some are pickleball related, some are not. Deal?
Deal.
All right. So we're gonna, John, feel free to jump in as well. We'll start it off with what is one thing you are better at than pickleball?
Shopping.
Shopping.
You too,
Really
Annalie?
good at that.
I'm pretty good at that. I'm pretty good at spending other people's money.
Yeah, it's
It's
always
kinda
fun to spend
contagious.
others.
Yeah.
It's always fun to spend other people's money, right?
Very fun.
You're really good at cooking.
I am very-
cooking and
yes.
baking.
Hmm.
I'm good at soccer too, but I don't think I'm better at soccer than pickleball. So
We still have to have that that I challenged you a while back to a soccer tennis on the pickleball court.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
It hasn't happened yet, but it's going to.
Yeah.
Next time you come to our area, I'll bring my soccer ball.
I just want you to know that you're going down.
We'll see about that.
I'm gonna be like Rob Cassidy out there, just like diving.
Throwing yourself.
Yep. I'm gonna be doing bicycle kicks and everything.
Oh jeez. I better wear my knee braces on that one.
Yeah, you probably should.
So I guess just a quick background before we get to question number 2. John was a goalkeeper in college for soccer, and Annalie is a rising soccer player and star herself. So we'll have to
Yeah,
get
they
that
have
on
a lot
film
of-
and put it
We
out.
have a lot of soccer
Yeah,
conversations.
I'll have to shoot on you sometime.
Okay. All right.
We need to get that on
Yeah.
film. That would
And we-
be epic.
And we both play for the same club too, I think.
That's right.
Yeah, we
Rush.
did.
Rush.
I played for Rush, and it's a good program.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Leigh, this one's for you. What are you always yelling at Annalie about?
I'm ready for this one.
Picking up her clothes off of the floor. That is an easy one.
What is your favorite dessert, Annalie, ever?
Okay, I have two. Chocolate lava cake with vanilla ice cream is one, and chocolate cake with vanilla frosting is the other one.
Wow.
Wow.
We are the same. I am chocolate on chocolate on chocolate. Just it's why I don't have, like a six pack is because of chocolate. Because I just have no self-control, you know?
We're in the same boat.
Yeah. I can't stop. What if it's in front of me, it's gonna be
gone.
that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
What are each of your roles on the pickleball court?
Mm.
You want to go first?
I think
We have similar roles.
I think our roles, like, we take on the role that's needed at the time. Like, sometimes I'm the mom and I'm trying to, like, pick her up if, like, emotionally she's down, or
Sometimes I'm the mom.
sometimes she is mom. And she does that to me. And then sometimes I'm the coach and I say, this is the strategy and this is what we need to do. And
I'm
then,
the assistant coach, I think.
no, I think sometimes you're the coach
Sometimes I'm
and you
coach.
say, Mom, this is what's working and this is what's not. So I think we're both moms and we're both coaches and we do it accordingly when needed.
I'm the cooler mom, though.
I'm the cooler coach, I guess. Probably not cool at all.
So you said you're shoppers. What is the biggest purchase you've made with your prize winning?
I don't know.
Well, Annalie hasn't spent any of her money.
Well, actually, yeah, that's true.
She's been too
All
busy
my
spending
prize
everybody
money goes-
else's. Yeah.
goes to her spending.
Well, after I won my first my first PBA singles title, it was in California, and I went to Chanel and I got a Chanel necklace. Well, she got me.
Yeah,
Chanel
thank you.
necklace.
I was waiting for that correction.
So,
Yeah.
that's one. We don't really take our prize money. Really.
Yeah, no, but
That was one.
That
time
was because we were
did.
celebrating.
If you ran the PPA, what is the biggest change you'd make?
That's a tough one. I don't like the 3 out of 5. I don't like it at all. I think it's tough, especially when you're in more than one final in the same day. And especially if you're playing a singles final and you're playing the singles final before your second final, which happens to us repeatedly. And sometimes she's had multiple.
Yeah, so I would say it's like spread out. Like if you know somebody's going to be in, let's say, 2 finals, don't put them back on back. Because I'll play the singles sometimes, and then another men's singles will go on, and it'll be super quick. But in that time, I still have to warm her up 1, change 2, and usually that's all in about 45 minutes, and I don't really get a break. So I would say that's 1, and 2 would be the challenge system.
Oh,
I have to bring this up because people are challenging calls that they know are out, or they know they did something wrong, but they're just challenging anyway because they think it's messed up many times before, so it's gonna happen. Maybe it might happen again. So
yeah, and that's actually true, because it's I guess it's better than nothing, but it's in its
if
infancy.
it's not enough to overrule, don't overrule. Like just to overrule, because I think that happens a lot.
Yeah, so like sometimes people just are be like, well, I'll just challenge it because there's a chance that it'll get overturned, and then sure enough,
It does.
It does.
And like everybody said it was out, or everybody said it was in. So it's
Yeah,
frustrating.
it's
sometimes.
frustrating, and we don't have enough cameras at this point to get the correct camera angles for every single shot that's challenged. And I think that's where these like bad overrule calls are coming from, because they don't necessarily have the right angle to be making the call in the first place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a good one.
I like the idea of the challenge, but I definitely think, like, when you watch it on, YouTube or whatever, it's like how could the ref even make a call on some of those cameras?
Exactly.
Well, it's been like a thing in practice, like if we know the ball, challenge.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
Yeah, and like a lot of times, you were playing right underneath the broadcast booth, so you're watching the people all looking at it, and like half the people will be going like, and some
Yeah.
people are like, it's out, and some people are like, it's just, I don't know. If that's the case, we don't need to be like overruling. So hopefully it gets better sooner than later.
Yeah, they have to up the camera equipment to be able to really sustain. I feel like those challenge calls, but I
Yeah.
think it's cool.
Yeah.
It's I
Yeah,
thought
it is
like
cool.
the 9 line judges was a little excessive.
I know.
Yeah, and then they still messed up that score the one time in Atlanta.
Yep. But it shows that I think that the PPA is
It's
going in the right direction.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're
Just
getting
needs
us
a
there.
little
Yeah, they're definitely focused on taking it to TV and just the next step in the pro to make it like a legitimate pro sport for sure.
Yeah, which is why, we've chosen to align ourselves with them because we feel like they're the ones that are gonna do it. So
Yeah, well, they're definitely spent, at least it looks like, spending the resources into getting in those steps there for sure.
I think the 3 out of 5 is interesting too, because a lot of times when it goes to 5, I feel like one team wins the first 2, and then the other team wins the next 3. And I think that shows maybe how mental or momentum
mental.
pickleball
you
really
almost
is.
get like either bored and unfocused, I think.
I just think we're not used to us as athletes. Our whole careers we've played 2 out of 3, even in finals. And then all of a sudden you play a random 3 out of 5, and your brain, I think, just shuts off after you've won 2 games. Like, okay, I'm done. But you're really not.
Yeah.
You got to win a whole nother game. And then the
Yeah.
other team has nothing to lose at that point, like nothing. So I think that's how the momentum starts. And then all of a sudden it gets very mental. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously I haven't played on a PPA finals day, but like if people are saying, "Oh, it's only 5 games," it's not the same because you have to focus so much. The mental toll on the body is just in those high pressure situations. It
And
really adds a factor to that.
the points are getting so long. I mean, between just everybody improving their games and then the defense is like insane now.
Yeah, like 30-shot rallies used to be amazing, and now if it's not a 30-shot rally, it's like what just happened in that point.
Yeah, so I mean, 5 games can be like truly grueling and mentally exhausting too. So yeah, it's tough. It's definitely not easy. And like I said, to have to play 2 in one day. The other dynamic is, that happened to Anna Leigh is she had a 5-game. This was where did you lose to Leigh in 5 games? San Clemente. And then 45 minutes later, she has to play the pro women's final with me. I mean, that's really hard to lose one final, in 5 grueling sets. And then 45 minutes later, you got to play another 3 out of 5 and try to, yeah. So it's a rough day. It's not an easy day. Not easy at all.
Interesting to hear that because you have someone like Tyson saying he loves it.
Tyson's made for stuff like that, though.
Yeah,
That
he's
guy,
a machine.
man.
He's a
He
machine.
roars. He roars, John.
No, he barks.
Yeah,
You always
it's
know.
definitely bars. It's a bar.
You always.
I've played with him. It's definitely a bar. Yeah, it's a bar.
I would do it right now, but I feel like the audio would just go crazy. But like I always mimic him. Like whenever he's playing, like you always know he's pumped up when he starts barking.
Yeah, he's fun to play with
He
though
is
because
super
he's just the energy. It's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like if I could pick any player to play with, it would be Tyson, just for the sheer fact of like he's your biggest hype man.
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
And he's awesome, like we were saying about Kyle, like he makes you feel so comfortable as his
And
partner.
he's the nicest guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm also a big fan of Kyle.
Yeah.
But
Anna Leigh, is it tough to go from singles to doubles on a day like that? I don't play singles, so it's a totally different game, right?
Depending on what happens, yes. I don't necessarily think that I have trouble like strategy-wise going from singles to doubles. Honestly, I think it actually helps me because when I get into the doubles, I'm really confident in my thirds because I've just played a whole singles match of thirds pretty much. But depending on what happens in the singles can sometimes transfer over to doubles. Like if I lose or not, I win, but I still maybe didn't have my best day, you know, like that's still in your head. The last couple times I've had to play too, I've just tried to focus on like singles is singles, doubles is doubles, or mix is mix, whatever I'm playing next, and just trying to separate the two.
No, it's good. That's good advice. So number 7, I'm not counting that one as number one of the questions, just so you know. Favorite place to play pickleball?
Is this like from where we've traveled or at home when we're practicing?
Your favorite
Anywhere.
place to play?
The village.
Yours is probably going to be the village, but mine, I would say, is Indian Wells. Playing in that stadium was amazing, and I think that's my favorite.
Well, that's good because that's coming up this week for you.
It is.
And Leigh, your
Yeah,
home
I
courts?
would say, I mean, overall, it's nice to walk out my door and go like a mile and be able to play on my home courts. But definitely the atmosphere, that was the best atmosphere ever, was Nationals 2019.
Yeah. Would you say that stadium is a better atmosphere than the US Open?
Yes.
By far.
Like 100%.
Yeah. Like it was not even
And you
close.
can actually see on that court.
Yeah,
Yeah.
US Open's very dark.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I haven't played on that court, but I just feel like it's like a little more intimate in the US Open, right? Where it's like
Mhm.
smaller, so I feel like
Not
maybe
as
the
many
atmosphere
people.
well, the atmosphere might be a little better there just because it's more, of a little bowl.
I think there were so many people at that last Nationals. Like the stadium was
It was full.
packed.
If it was open, it might not have felt as legit, but there were so many people there, so it.
And the crowd was so into the match, and
I recently saw a picture of like this stadium. It looked like packed. Like there was.
and it was big, a big
It was
stadium.
huge.
Yeah. It was cool to see the stands actually get packed for a pickleball game,
Yeah, right.
Especially in
That was-
2019.
Yeah,
Yep. Before the celebrities started.
yep, that's right. Or the Kardashians were playing.
That's true.
All right, you guys have been traveling the country, playing all these tournaments. What's your best travel tip?
You don't have to pack as much as you think you do.
So true.
Are you
So
speaking
true.
from
the
experience?
first time we went, I think I was overweight by about 10 pounds, and I had about 6 pairs of shoes in my bag. I like planned every outfit, and I think I might have worn one outfit other than my pickleball.
But you
So
needed
that's not-
options.
I did need options.
You
I didn't
always
know what
need
my
options.
mood would be. Yeah.
Yeah, you always need options. I overpack so much. I pack like I'm gonna be playing pickleball all day long into the finals. And I go like 2 and out. So like I have this big duffel bag full of pickleball clothes that I'm gonna like sweat through, and I just wear one outfit. You know?
All
But
right,
there's always that one day where I make it to the finals. So it's coming.
Coming.
Gotta
Yeah.
believe.
Yep.
better to be prepared, John.
Exactly.
So if you're not playing pickleball, what are you doing?
Unfortunately, it's school for me, probably, or soccer. Not unfortunately for soccer, but unfortunately for school. But if I'm not playing pickleball, I'm either at home doing school, or I'm at soccer practice, or I'm cooking or something, or watching a TV show, texting. But yeah, mainly school and soccer.
And
Leigh,
what position do you play?
The 10, so attacking
Okay.
midfield.
I got you. So you're always running.
Oh my gosh, so much running.
I think it's average, like, was it 4 miles a game usually?
Almost. Because they wear these trackers now that like how much they run and like their max speed and all this other stuff. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, it's usually like
3.5.
at least 3.5 miles.
But you're also kicking the ball and like defending and moving side, so it's more than just
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Me
Leigh,
when
what do
when I'm not playing pickleball, I'm usually doing like mom stuff or wife stuff or daughter stuff. I help my dad a lot. I'm kind of like my dad's secretary
She
for
is.
his little businesses that he does. So,
You're on the bike too.
yeah, I like to ride the bike and do stuff like that. So, I can also be found watching Netflix a time or two. I won't lie.
So what show are you watching right now then?
In the dark.
In the dark.
Oh, the blind girl?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one.
yeah.
That's a good one.
It's kind of it's literally a very dark show.
It is.
Mhm.
But
It
It's
is.
intriguing though. You don't want to stop watching it.
It is. Yeah, that is true. We just got finished watching all the Harry Potters again.
that's cool. We did that.
Yeah, we did that a little while
That's
ago.
fun to take like series like that and start from the beginning and
We did that with Vampire Diaries this summer too, or not Vampire Diaries. What's
Twilight.
Twilight. We did that.
Twilight. I haven't watched Twilight in a long time, and I don't really want to again.
That was my first time seeing it, so
We did it with Star Wars too.
yeah, we did. We did that like 3 times.
I feel like that'd be a good one.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So I guess off-topic question, but do you watch Star Wars in order that they're released or in order that the
Story's
story
told.
goes?
The story.
No, we did it.
We
We
did the
no.
story.
We watched it because she hadn't seen any of them, and so we started from the way that they were.
I was
released.
confused though.
I'm still
Yeah, I'm
confused when I watch
confused.
them, but
Speaking of
Yeah.
confusing topic, the rule changes are coming out.
yes.
If you were in charge of the rules of pickleball, what is one rule change you would make?
No spin serve at all. No flick. No hand thing. Just get rid of it.
I'm
That would be
shocked hearing
mine.
that from you. You're like the spin serve queen
Well, the
over
only
there.
reason I do it is because everybody else is. So I feel like I'm like not using an advantage, but I don't necessarily like it. So
I feel like maybe we need to like figure out a way to focus more on making sure that paddles are up to code.
yes, that's a
Because-
good one.
That I think is becoming an issue or is potentially becoming an
It is
issue.
already an issue.
So that would be probably be my focus.
When you're
I
saying
could-
paddles up to code, you're saying certain paddles out there now, they are going through the USA Pickleball testing, and then they come out differently after?
Potentially, I don't know. There's a lot of discussion going on. You don't know what's true and what's not, and I really don't want to get myself into trouble here. But
Oh, yeah. I don't want to get you in trouble.
yeah, but there's just a lot of discussion amongst the pros and amongst referees and
They're trying to figure out a
tournament
way
directors.
to make it to where we know every single time.
Yeah, because you really don't know if somebody walks out on a court whether
They've been in the back standing their paddle down.
or
We'll put it that way.
Try that.
But
no, it's just you you just don't know. I mean, because since COVID, there's not really even they're not even really touching
Yeah,
paddles
you just have
anymore. So
Well, even within the rules, because I was on the board for USA Pickleball, so I was had a little insight into some progression of rules regarding paddle. Even
Mhm.
within the rules, there's like discrepancies, right? Like a paddle
what
that
does
may,
it mean exactly?
yeah, or how do you test something? What does it mean? Can you do something different so it meets that test, but it has the same effect, right? So
Right.
I
Yeah.
think as the game evolves, how you test things or how you quantify things will evolve. And then the ability to test paddles on site obviously will evolve too.
Right. I think so. I think it's gonna have to, just like in every other sport.
Yeah, there's going to be too much money not to do that, right?
Well, and with the betting coming into play next year,
yeah, that's gonna be.
you're gonna have to make sure all these things are in check.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm personally excited for the betting.
I know you are.
Are you
I
gonna
am
bet on
so
it?
sure of that.
What's your first bet, John? A question for you. What's your first
Oh,
bet?
I don't even know. It depends. So I guess that you can bet on 8 different courts at a time, right? Like they'll have 8 courts streamed. I mean,
That's
obviously,
cool.
I'm gonna bet on myself.
Can you do that?
I think that might be a conflict of interest somewhere, but I'm gonna figure out a way to either bet against myself and win. No, I'm kidding. But I'm gonna be going to these pickleball tournaments and like figuring out how people are feeling that day. You know,
You're gonna
how
have your
their
little notepad, taking some pictures.
how their relationships are going.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because that could mean a lot.
It definitely can.
Definitely.
I want to get that insider information.
I got you, John.
All right, thank you.
Annalie's going to give you the scoop. All right. So Do you have any superstitions?
I don't. You do. You can only will hit a forehand on.
Yeah, so the paddle tech paddles, they're two different sides. One has the P and one has the black side with the little P. And the black side with the little P is my backhand side, and the front side with the big P is my forehand side. So like if I'm in the middle of the point and I see my paddles wrong, I'm flipping it. I don't care if I'm about to hit the ball. I can't hit it with that side.
I think
So
that's so weird. I've
so that
never
would be
paid
one.
attention one time to which side of the paddle I was using.
Yeah.
I'm the
Oh
same
my
way
goodness.
though. I'm the
You
same way.
are?
Yeah. So when I play with the Paddle Tech, I play with the Genesis Pro or whatever, the Phoenix Pro. And
Yeah.
at first when Paddle Tech came out with that design, I was like, well, that's kind of silly. But then I was like, oh, it's actually nice because now I know like what side I want to hold it,
It
right?
feels different in my grip though. Like I can
Yeah.
tell. I'm like something doesn't feel right, or I'll miss a shot, look down, up, wrong
Yep.
side of my paddle.
Yeah. So for me, I have the little P on the forehand. And if it's
Well,
not,
if you
it's
change
like,
that, your level.
Maybe you should change it, John. You never know.
that could get me to the 4.7, the 4.7 range. I can't get over the 4.6. I've been a 4.6 since I started.
Go flip that paddle. It'll change your life.
All right, I have no idea what number we're on, but funniest thing a fan has said to you.
Ooh.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
You might have stumped us with this one. He's saying a fan has said to you. Well, I always appreciate the fan that says that we're sisters instead of mother or daughter. That's more of an appreciation.
Cross that fan
That's
off
always
my
just
list.
more than an appreciation.
Yeah. I don't know. It's somebody once when I was playing with Taylor. I was playing with Taylor Niss, the only tournament that I ever played with Taylor Niss. I was 12 years old, and I was playing, and somebody came up to Taylor and thought she was me, and that was the funniest thing because I was like 11 at that point, so I really
And Taylor was in her 20s.
yes,
Yeah.
so that was pretty funny.
I think you age people differently, Annalie, because so I am 33. When I played with you, I was 30, 31. And someone came up to me and asked how old I was and thought I was a teenager. And I about lost my teeth because I was like, this is awesome. So you
Yeah,
just aged us all the way down.
There you go.
We'll have to start writing down funny fan moments.
I'm sure
There have
you're
been
going to
some
have more and
interesting
more.
comments, but I don't know funny.
Best tip to take to the courts.
I think
Move your feet maybe for mine, because if I'm not moving my feet, I'm not going to play my best.
I think for me it's having fun and trying to keep the pressure off and staying confident. Because I know when I play my best, I'm confident and having fun, and when I'm playing bad, in my brain I'm the worst pickleball player that's ever played, and it just starts getting worse and worse and worse. So for me, it's just trying to keep the this is pickleball and this is awesome, and I get to play with my kid and don't put so much pressure on myself.
So to put it together, move your feet and have fun.
Yep,
That's it.
I think that's it.
There you go. Leigh, what is one question you wish we asked Annalie?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I want to know. Ask me something interesting too.
And you have to answer it. So Lee's gonna
Okay.
you have to answer.
Just give me something personal.
This is hard. So, Annalie, is there a boyfriend or a boy that you've been kind of chatting? I'm starting to think there is one.
He's blushing.
I
There might be
know.
Are you asking? Are you asking because you want to know, or Leigh, you're trying to get it out of her?
Yes, yeah. You guys should have said, Annalie, do you have a boyfriend? Come on, this is here.
All right, Annalie.
AL, it's only us here. There's no one that'll see this. Just let it out.
So right now there is not. That's at the moment. There haven't been per se boyfriends in the past, but there have been guys that I've talked to on the phone before.
I wonder what talking to means.
It's a phase. It's a phase. I haven't gotten past that phase yet.
No, she's not had a serious boyfriend.
No, I haven't.
But she's only 14, so that's a good thing. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that was my that.
I'm
Next
sure
question.
I'm sure Steven, your dad, was cringing around the by the
I'm
waiting
sure if I
to hear
mention
that one.
any boy's name, you don't do that.
All right, Annalie, I think you know the next question. What is one question you wish we asked Leigh?
Trying to think. Do you want this to be like funny or like a personal thing?
Anything you want.
Because I can give you a funny one.
Okay.
All right, go for it.
Okay. How many times do you change your outfit before we go out somewhere?
A lot. Probably a good 3 or 4 times. Right? Maybe 5 times. That's why we really had to limit what we packed, because then you don't have choices and it's just we got one thing to wear. But yeah, when we go like out to eat or to the mall or something, yeah, there's a lot of changing.
And then you're like, yeah, that looks
But I have to say that she's guilty of the
I'm
exact
worried.
same thing. So she got it honest, I guess.
Stace,
All
I
right.
have a couple bonus ones.
All right, and then I'll kick in the last one. So you take it away.
All right. AL, this one's for you.
Okay.
What age do you think you'll be when the commentator stops saying how old you are?
Maybe when I get to like, I would say maybe 20, 21, when it'll stop. But I always say to mom every year, like, oh, I'm turning 15 now. Like, am I still gonna be a kid? And she's like, yeah, until you turn like 20, kid. Okay, so I have a little while.
Yeah. It's like when I tell her, like, when she's really stressing on the court, I'm like, Annalie, you're 14. And then I'm still going to be saying this when you're 15. And I'm still going to be saying this
when
like,
you're 16.
like,
yeah.
how can you have so many expectations when you're just a kid, you know? I mean, there's so much that goes on when you're growing up, like, mentally and physically. And, and yeah, you start to set an expectation of winning. But, like, I just think when you're a kid, no expectations and everything you're doing is just amazing and is just icing on the cake. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I just think it's always hilarious. It's like every time, oh, the 14-year-old Annalie.
Yeah.
Like...
Except for they still don't get it right. Like half of them
Yeah.
say 15. Every once in a while there's a 13. I think that's the number one question that we get at a tournament is, now, Annalie, how old are you really? Like from fans, even the commentators.
People don't even believe it. They'll come up to me like, "You're not 14," and I'm like, "Yeah, I am 14."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they'll be like, "You've been 14 for 5 years."
Yeah, or they won't even know some people won't even know my name. You're the 14-year-old. Oh well, there's like 5 more billion 14-year-olds out in the world. They didn't say I'm 14.
Yeah, that was a good one, John.
Yeah.
All right. I thought something was really funny on the Major League Pickleball when Papa Waters got interviewed right before you guys
Geez,
get to
I
play
didn't
each
see
other.
the interview, so I don't know what went on.
What did he say?
He had this. They asked. I can't remember who was asking. Maybe it was Dom or someone. It was like, how do you cheer? For this, and he was just like, he's like, yeah, it's not really a win-win. I kind of just sit here and be quiet. So like, how does he go through that? Like
when we're playing each other?
Yeah.
Well, when we're playing together, a couple times Mom's had to send him away.
Yeah. Sometimes I have to send him away when we're playing together. No, that's just because it's like, well, when it's like somebody that you're really close with and they tell you to do something and you don't want to hear it at that moment. Yeah. Like, no, go away.
No, and then after the match, he's like, I did better today. I didn't say much.
Well, he always says, when we're playing each other, that he cheers for whoever's losing at the moment.
Yeah.
But I think he's always cheering for her, of course.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. But yeah, I mean, it's never fun. I mean, we're getting used to it now because it's happened so many times this year. But it's definitely never a fun family dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because I thought it was interesting. It was in the MLP, right? It was like it came down to you guys playing each other, where
Of
like
course.
if AL would be in the the championship or not. And I was like,
Well,
okay,
that was
Some people
awful.
wanted us to play each other in singles. They were like, "Oh, we wanted to see the mother-daughter in the singles." And we were,
Yeah, like fans were yelling out when we were creating the lineups for singles, like Waters versus Waters, mom versus daughter. And I was like begging my coach, like, please don't make me play Annalie in singles, but if you want me to, I will. But thank goodness it didn't work out that way.
No.
yeah,
But
I,
yeah, that was we were saying the whole week because we knew that we played each other the last day, and so we were like, maybe it won't matter, like maybe the match won't matter, and we can just have fun, and there's no pressure. It doesn't matter. Of course, it comes down to they have to beat us to get into the final. So I was in the absolute worst position possible because
Yeah.
Some people thought she was just gonna like quit and not
yeah,
try,
like
fold
I
the
had
match.
people come up to me afterwards and they were like, yeah, there were bets on if you were just gonna lay down or if you were really gonna try. And luckily, like it kind of worked out because everybody saw that like I gave it my all and we almost
she
we
played
were
insane.
one point away
We
from taking
needed
them
like
out.
15-12.
14,
14,
12. We had a couple like game points to take it away, and I was like trying my hardest to win for my team, but their team ended up going to the finals anyway, so it worked out okay for us because that was, I'm telling you, that was tough.
It was brutal.
I have to give you credit. You guys always, when you play against each other, which has happened quite a few times in mixed and key matchups, you always give 100%. There's no like, I mean, there's a little bit of a dynamic, like, oh, it's really hard to play my mom or my daughter, but you guys
Yeah.
always give 100% with your partners, for your partners, which I think is,
You have to.
yeah,
It's not
great.
fair otherwise. I mean, it's one reason why I like was considering not playing mixed doubles at all next year is because I met her in the draw so often, and I felt like bad for my partner when we would lose because I get a little bit like weird when I play her, and
But you also.
yeah, and I want to watch her and Ben, but it's like you don't want to let your partner down because you're playing your kid or you're playing your mom. You know what I mean? Because and the same happened at MLP. You have a whole team. You don't want to let your team down because of your situation. So yeah, you have to give 100%.
How was MLP from a fan's perspective watching? I thought that was the coolest thing that's happened in pickleball.
It was
Like,
awesome
ever.
to play.
Yeah.
I just thought the whole format was awesome. The way the girls were kicking the boys' booties in singles, I thought that was just so cool.
Yeah.
By the end, all the girls just wanted to play guys, and all the guys were like, "Whoa, I want to play a guy!" It was so funny.
No, I think everybody had fun.
It was very fun.
I mean, I think really the only complaint I heard from any player was that the event overall is very long. Like it was like 4 days long, and it was kind of long. But like everybody had a blast. And it was so cool because you played with people that you would never play with otherwise.
You got to know people
that you didn't know at all, really. And it was just a fun dynamic.
like a team of it.
And it was cool, like the little nuances, like you could coach at any moment. Like you could just like after a point just yell out, like get your backhand down the line or whatever. Which I like that dynamic about pickleball. So
yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was just really cool, and then it was crazy to see because there were so many different matchups, and it made the games so close. Every match you watched was like it didn't matter who, like even the teams that had a bad record, they were in every single match. Like
yeah.
A lot of the matches were 15-14, like really come down to the wire.
The way with the draft and everything, you really couldn't create like a super team, like a Ben and Matt Wright or whatever,
Yep.
And so yeah, a lot of the matches came down to the singles,
which I thought was awesome. And then Leigh Whitwell stole the show for sure.
That was hilarious.
The whole kitchen violations were also really funny. When they would they'd replay it and she would like just walk through the kitchen. Like 3 steps.
She's so funny and she made it so many jokes, like because I'm a Leigh and she's Leigh, and so she would say like, yeah, Anna Leigh replaced this Leigh for this Leigh.
Yeah,
and
but before matches, I'd be like, Leigh, why'd you put me up for adoption? And like, and she'd go, do you know how many brothers and sisters you have?
and it was like hashtag pick a Leigh,
Hashtag two Leigh. Yeah, she was.
hashtag pick a Leigh, hashtag Leigh Whitwater.
Yeah.
Like there
Water.
So many-
That's hilarious.
so many little jokes, and they were great partners
Yeah,
together.
well, being on the court when she was playing singles and like the energy when she would pass one of those like huge guys was just so awesome. Like our whole team was just. I think overall we might have like our team might have had the best chemistry like as a team because everybody just wanted
Yeah.
everybody to do well and we were supposed to be like the worst team.
Yeah, they were
ever.
graded a D- going in as a team.
I thought it was crazy.
So
But yeah.
we showed the D- raters.
Yeah,
It shows you what chemistry can do,
absolutely.
because you had a couple teams that were just, full of studs, and they didn't do as well.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool. It was cool to see like Kyle getting up and like going crazy for Leigh, which, in a normal tournament setting might not be the case, right? So
Right.
it's like, I thought it was just awesome. It was super cool. I hope they do more of those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing 2 next year.
I'm excited for the redraft.
I hope to one day be the 16th pick. That's my goal.
There you go.
So John, any final questions for Team Waters? And-
I think I'm out of the fun ones. We've already answered some of the other ones.
All right, so I think this will be the last of our quick fire questions. And you have to fill in the blank. Team Waters is blank.
It's not really a question.
All right, well then Team Waters is blank question mark.
that I have. I answer these all day.
It's like an SAT question, Stacie.
I'm trying to make you think. Pickleball is a mental game.
Team Waters are unforgettable.
Ooh,
Oh,
I like it, Annalie. School's paying off.
Team Waters is drippy.
drippy.
She totally just looked at her water and came up with something.
Pun intended.
No, Team Waters is family.
That's
Love
a
that.
good one.
Very good.
Definitely.
Well, I think you guys really show what the sport of pickleball is all about. I think the pickleball community is lucky to have such wonderful people as ambassadors and such a visible part of our sport. Thank you for joining us today as our first guest on Pickler the Podcast. If you are interested in learning more about Leigh and Annalie, go check out Pickler's newsletter, and please also watch them as they go on to defend their national championship, which we'll say is a three-peat with an asterisk because we're going to count
Hopefully.
2020.
Yep.
And also, if you can, please support them, which means also supporting their sponsors. So if you guys want to give a quick sponsor shout out, go ahead.
So first, we have Richard's Rainwater, the cleanest water in the business. We might change our last name to Rainwater.
Thanks to Paddle Tech. We love you. You make the best paddles ever. Thanks to Faye and Flory for dressing us. Thanks to Lasso Gear for the coolest compression socks. And Studio Margaret for the best pickleball jewelry.
Awesome. Thank you to those businesses. People like them keep pickleball going. And also thank you again to Superior Labs who sponsored this podcast. To power up and recover faster, go check out superiorlabs.com. Thank you again for the sponsor. And John, you want to take us out?
All right. So, Team Waters, what we do here is we cheers the camera. All right.
Okay,
Oh.
So,
let's do it.
1, 2, 3, Pickler out.